first, the question I gotta ask, that is this situation, this pandemic, the isolation, and for a band that is really used to make worldwide tours, how are you dealing with this thing about staying home and not going out?
It's, obviously it's very disappointing and difficult, and we had a lot of tours planned for the March, for the spring and summer in both Mexico and South Africa and more. So we're adjusting, and we're kind of adapting to it. We're doing a lot of studio work. We're doing collaborations with people online through Zoom or Dropbox or whatever, and then we're starting to do some live streams. We're going to start every Friday. We're going to be doing a live stream from our studio where we play like acoustic songs and different versions of the songs for our YouTube and Facebook fans. So it's definitely a new experience, and the world's changing. Not being able to leave the house too much is difficult. I know that a lot of people in the world have it way more difficult than we do. So we're just kind of playing it one day at a time.
Great, but you keep yourself entertained and producing, as I can see.
Yeah, we've had we kind of, the first couple of weeks of the pandemic, we were, I'm sure, like the rest of the world, just a little bit in shock. Like it didn't feel real. It didn't really settle in. It was kind of difficult to adjust to what was happening. And now we don't really have much of a choice. We kind of have to keep producing content or working, because live touring is a big portion of the music business's income, and with that being cut off, everyone's going to have to adapt. So we're trying to figure out what we do, and that means making more music, recording more songs and content, and providing something for fans to check out on a regular basis.
Right, because that you said a musician today lives off the live incomes, the playing live incomes, and this is also a change of music streaming, because you gotta find another way to earn money. Are you worried about that?
Yes, definitely worried about it. Like I said, I think we're still a ways away from being unable to support ourselves from music. We've got a little bit of a cushion, and we've got a big enough fan base right now through streaming to potentially keep it going for a while. But it's definitely worrying. With live music potentially being shut down for a year or longer, big concerts, festivals being delayed. It's definitely a worrying time, and it's going to be interesting to see how we can adapt to it. Like I said, we're doing the live stream. The world might at some point go back to normal, but it might also just move more and more online, where people don't leave their houses and they want to be entertained from the comfort of their couch. I mean, it's kind of already moving that way in the first place, with people spending more time on Netflix and Instagram and watching TV shows. So we're trying to do this live streaming thing on Fridays, where we play these songs, and we're going to do half of it for free for people that can't afford it. Just go visit our YouTube, and then the other half, for about 30 minutes, we're going to do exclusively for our Patreon users, which is $2 a month. So we'll see. If people are willing to pay $2 a month to see a weekly live stream, and we get enough people supporting that, it might be a nice way to play music and continue to interact with fans.
I like this optimism and being, strength on this. So we pass to brighter news. You unleashed a new single recently, Fly. This is the preview of your new album, 1999 Part 3. Is this correct?
Yeah. So we released the first single from the album. Will be called Phoenix, which is 1929 Part 3. The song is called Fly. It was written by Jesse, the drummer, and the first two albums, 1929 Part 1 and 2, were maybe a little bit more kind of doom and gloom, and we felt like this new album needed a little bit of a different tone and vibe to it. So it's a little more uplifting. Maybe there's a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel, and I think Fly was a good song to kind of represent that. as the first single. You know, it's got a nice uplifting beat. The lyrics are quite positive. So far, it's been a great reaction. You know, with people that have heard it.
Well, it's good what you said because it certainly puts another tone. 1999 Part 2 was pretty dark and gloom, and I'm speaking musically, not through the lyrics. And you can hear in Fly a much brighter spectrum of sounds. You know, it's like this space sound you make is towards to what you said, the light in the end of the tunnel. I see you on the other side. I mean, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
This was premeditated. You know, this situation. You say, well, we need something more optimistic. We gotta put the light on, or it was natural.
It was a bit of both. You know, the song was written by Jesse, like I said, a few months ago, before this happened. It was definitely a conscious choice to choose that song as the first song to come out for this new album. We felt like it set the tone for it. We didn't necessarily start off with the idea of writing music for that for this album, Phoenix 1929 in this way, but it could just be that this is the natural progression of things. You know, you can't live in a dark state forever. Musically, that's possibly what is happening here, whether it's in our subconscious or partly conscious. You know, the way we release music is very conscious, but sometimes the way you create music is it's not as conscious in the way we think of the idea. It comes through in these kind of mysterious ways, in mysterious avenues.
So I can't imagine having a brother. I can't imagine having three brothers and a band together. There must be a lot of unconscious in your music. You know, this so much you've lived together must be print in the music. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange dynamic, and I know for people like you know, who don't have siblings, it's difficult to imagine. It's even more difficult for people who do have siblings to imagine being in a band and working with them, because, you know, they have a hard enough time sometimes at, you know, family gatherings or celebrations with their family, and then they have to imagine working with them, you know, almost 18 hours a day, which is what or living on a bus, you know, touring for 3 years at a time. So luckily we've been working at this for long enough now. I think we're in like our 16th or 17th year as a band officially. So we've worked through a lot of the bullshit to get over the difficulties much quicker than we used to, and the creative process now is a lot more prolific and kind of easier or more positive. So we're in a good place now for creating music.
And what about your dad? He listens to the band? He likes it?
Yeah, definitely. We send him a lot of music. You know, both him and my mom, we send him the early mixes of songs for him to comment on and say, oh yeah, I like it. I don't really like the arrangement. Maybe you should try the chorus here or there. So, and we take his advice quite often.
Yes, because I really met your dad through your band. I didn't know about his existence, and I've been listening to his music, and it's pretty anachronical. You know, it sounds like it was composed 5 years ago. It's pretty modern.
Yeah, a lot of his music was definitely ahead of his time, and in fact, some of the songs he hasn't released, which we're trying to get him to kind of put out, were really, really ahead of time. When he was in England, he was working on a computer called the Fairlight, and I think he was only like one of two people to have it in the whole of England at the time, and he was making like computer music, like dance music with samples and algorithms and things like that. He started working on music. He was always really like a technophile, so he was always ahead of the curve, and so even those songs he put out in the 60s and 70s were kind of, for us, when we listened to them, like pushing the boundary of what was happening at the time.
Okay, I have two more obligatory questions, and I leave you alone. One is obviously you're talking with someone in Argentina, and you have a song that you as a band have a song that speaks about Argentina, have Argentina in a map with a hand, and it was after the tour. You probably answered this before, but what about this relationship? It was because of Argentina, or you pick a random country and Argentina was there?
Yeah, we did. That was a conscious choice. That was written by Danny. He was trying to find a country that we've enjoyed you're going to, over the last few years that kind of fit the rhyming scheme and fit the rhythm of the song. And the song it's a funny lyric, like Danny's are a lot of times, where the line says, and they should move Argentina closer to my house. It's a fantastical idea. It's a big idea that's not possible, but it's something that he wanted in his imagination. And he was trying to find a country that worked, that he would feel. We had such a great time in Argentina when we played the festivals there, and we played a couple side shows. We had such a great experience that it just worked, and it fits the rhythm and the rhyming of the song, so we left it in there.
So, well, we hope this gets over sometime and you can come back to Argentina to make you feel joy again, and we feel joy about your music. And, well, let's end this remembering when the new album is about to come and how to follow you and support you with the live streams and everything we can do to support Kongos.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and we really appreciate that. We can't wait to get back down to South America and Argentina. It's hopefully this thing, we can move on from this at some point, and we can come down there and play some shows for you guys.
Probably we can do it like Denmark, the drive-in experience. We go in our cars and...
I don't know. From the shows that we've played in all over Latin America, I don't know if the crowd can handle standing still, or sitting still in their cars. They've been the most, loud, enthusiastic crowds we've ever played to. I think they would go crazy if they had to sit in their car the whole time.
Will be the biggest car crash ever.
Yeah, it'll be a car mosh pit.
Okay, so we followed you through the Instagram and Facebook in the live streams to support you. And when is the release date of your latest album? What is set to?
We haven't set a date. It's going to be this year. Everything's kind of been thrown up in the air with this pandemic, and we usually release an album with a tour, which has obviously changed. So we're kind of thinking about that now, but it'll be sometime later this year.